Episode 3 of Skeleton Crew is out, and with it comes some genuinely crazy revelations about our characters and also a ton of other mysteries.
I'm Spider-Man.
Before we get started, we're on the road to 2,500 subs. If you could join this channel by hitting that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. I would love to have you here. Also, leave your comments down below. I read every single one, and I most likely will respond. Now, let's break down the episode. I want to go over the plot, but also I kind of want to theorize on what is going on with the home planet of At Attan and why I think it connects to the overarching plot of the sequel trilogy. So in this episode, we have the skeleton crew of kids escaping with Jedi, the supposed Jedi character, leaving this imprisonment pirate camp. Meanwhile, back home on At Attan, we have the parents of the kids wondering where they are, talking to the droids, referencing the Republic. Now, since they're mentioning the Republic, it's clear now that this planet, At Attan, that has been hidden away, does not know about the rise and, I guess, fall of the Empire. They think that the Republic, including the Jedi Order with Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, they think that's still around. They're working towards this thing called the Great Work, and while we don't have a lot of information on what their actual goals are, we do get a little bit of a breadcrumb in this episode. The kids are very reluctant to trust Jedi, who's also named something completely different by his former pirate associates, so there we can't trust him at all, even from the get-go. While they're escaping, we see so many different alien species that we haven't seen in Star Wars in a long time, and we also get looks at other droids, such as a B-1 battle droid. It was really cool to see like a battle droid from the prequels in live action, like physically built. I don't know why, it was just super cool to me. And while we're going to touch on Jedi, who he is, and his connections to the Jedi later on, I want to kind of talk about the fact that they're doing a really good job of hiding whether he is a Jedi or a Force user or not. So much so that they bring up the other ways that he could have manipulated things that we've seen in other series, such as Obi-Wan, where Kaja uses magnetism. The kids even bring up that it could be magnets. I think it's great writing to have the kids ask the questions that us viewers are asking, putting us in their shoes and kind of going on the adventure with them. They pilot to a moon where Jada is seeking help from someone he knows named Kim. However, he warns the children not to fully trust her, that she might stab them in the back. And as they arrive on the moon, we hear Kim actually call out to the X-Wings of the New Republic, warning them that Jod is here. And we also can't trust Jod ourselves because Kim calls him Crimson Jack. So we already have 3 different names for this guy, and he seems to just be a wanderer, somebody who is lost, just like the kids looking for his home. Now, I don't think we can fully trust him yet, and we see him use the Force technically multiple times in this episode, but is it the actual Force, or is he just a pirate doing a bunch of tricks? They're doing a really good job of keeping me interested and leaving just enough breadcrumbs for me to pick up kind of some of the pieces of the puzzle, but not give enough away to where I can predict exactly who he is or what's going to happen. On this moon, Kim lets Jod and all of the kids in, and then we learn a little bit more history about At Attan because they're trying to go back there. This planet was lost and hidden away and is one of the few remaining planets from the Old Republic? I'm not sure if they're referencing the Old Republic being the Old Republic from Legends, or they're referencing the Old Republic being the prequel Republic. Because even one of the kids mentions Alderaan, to which Kim replies, "Have you missed the war?" So the planet At Attan has been hidden away since before the Empire and now post-Empire. This is super interesting to me. I wonder what the secrets are, why this planet is so special, what is the treasure that they're potentially looking for, and most importantly, in my opinion, what the Great Work is. We'll get back to that in just a second, but I kind of want to wrap up the plot of what goes on this episode because we're almost at the end. They get just enough information to know where to go next. However, Kim has already called the X-Wing pilots to arrest Crimson Jack or Jod. So they have to escape, but it's at this point where the kids realize they have a little bit more leverage over him and command him to work for the kids. It's at this point where Jod reveals to the kids that, yeah, he's just like them. He's lost. He's a nobody. But at the same time, I think he's still hiding tons of information from us that we will learn later on in the season. Now, my favorite moment from this episode happens at the very end when the kids are escaping from the X-Wings, mounting the turret guns and flying the ship. Seeing the look on Wim's face as he mounts the turret gun is just so awesome, knowing he's fulfilling his dreams that he wanted, and Neil's flying the plane. The kids are just going on this massive adventure that they shouldn't be in the first place. I'm loving it so far. This is fantastic, and that's how the episode ends. Similar to what Agatha All Along did for me for the MCU, being the biggest surprise of the year, something I wasn't necessarily too excited for but blew my mind, this is kind of the same thing. I went in with super low expectations, didn't know if I was gonna like it, but I was gonna watch it anyway because I love Star Wars, And now we're 3 episodes in, and I'm genuinely loving it. One little metric that I use to tell if I'm actually invested in a show is if I can name all the characters, and guess what? I remember all of their names. Sometimes when making these videos and breakdowns, I go back and listen for the names of the characters and put the subtitles on, because I just don't really know much about their character or care enough to, sink it into my brain. But with this show, I've remembered everybody so far. It's a good time. It's really fun. And the mystery that it's setting up with At Attan is genuinely intriguing. Now, let's wrap this video up with my theory as to what I think's going on with At Attan and this whole series. If we look at the last several projects in the Star Wars universe that we've gotten on Disney Plus, whether it be The Mandalorian, Andor, The Bad Batch, a lot of them focus a lot on the Empire and their plans if something went wrong. Most notably, the cloning and resurrection of Emperor Palpatine. They laid groundwork for it in The Mandalorian Season 3, they laid groundwork for it in The Bad Batch, and now we have this show Skeleton Crew about a private planet hidden away from everywhere else where there's a great work going on. If I had to put money on it, I'd say this is the final piece of the puzzle for the whole Palpatine resurrection. We have the cloning facility in the final season of Bad Batch that sets up how they were able to possibly resurrect him, and of course in The Mandalorian Season 3 we have cloning and we have Project Necromancer, and it's just alluding to the fact that in The Rise of Skywalker he returns. So what if the great work on At Attan is to resurrect Palpatine and get him ready for the First Order? That's my tinfoil hat theory. Let me know if you guys think I'm absolutely crazy. Most importantly, I want to know what you think down below in the comments. I read every single one. I most likely will respond. Leave those theories, like the video, and I will see you all very, very soon.